Here are Grandpa's 41 plus life hacks to kill weeds naturally. Use a pressure washer. Have you tried using a pressure washer to eliminate weeds in your driveway? Apparently, Grandpa swears by using this method effectively. The high-pressure water stream blasts away weeds along with their roots, preventing regrowth. Position the nozzle at an angle and use medium pressure to avoid damaging surfaces. Start with visible cracks and crevices, ensuring the water clears out soil and debris. Sweep the area afterwards to maintain a neat appearance. This technique saves time and keeps outdoor spaces weed-free without chemicals. Wood ash. Wood ash, a natural byproduct of fireplaces, works wonders on weeds. Sprinkle a layer of ash directly over unwanted growth, particularly around pathways or garden beds. The potassium and alkaline properties disrupt the soil's pH balance, discouraging weed regrowth. Be careful not to over-apply near plants, as excessive alkalinity can harm them. Reapply after rainfall for lasting results. Landscape fabric. Are you tired of weeds invading your garden beds? Landscape fabric provides a long-term solution. Spread the fabric over the affected area, cutting precise openings for plants. It blocks sunlight from reaching the weeds, starving them while still allowing water and nutrients to pass through. Secure the edges with stakes, then cover with mulch for a clean finish. This method not only suppresses weeds, but also enhances the aesthetic of your garden. Soap solution. A simple soap solution can work wonders on unwanted weeds. Combine 1 tablespoon of liquid dish soap with a gallon of water, then transfer it to a spray bottle. Apply it directly to the weeds on a sunny day, focusing on the leaves and stems. The soap breaks down the waxy coating, dehydrating the plant. Repeat the process after a few days for stubborn areas. It's an inexpensive and safe alternative for managing weeds in tight spaces. Chalk powder. Chalk powder can be a surprisingly effective weed deterrent. Dust it generously over cracks in driveways, sidewalks, or patio tiles where weeds sprout. The powder absorbs moisture and creates a barrier, discouraging weed growth. Reapply after heavy rainfall or whenever the chalk starts to fade. This technique is especially useful for preventing weeds in areas where manual removal is inconvenient. Regular sweeping. Maintaining a clean surface is one of the simplest ways to combat weeds. Regular sweeping removes dirt, debris, and seeds that collect in cracks and crevices, depriving weeds of the chance to germinate. Use a stiff bristled broom and focus on driveways, sidewalks, and patios where buildup occurs. Sweep after windy days or storms to keep surfaces clear. Consistent effort can significantly reduce weed growth and make other weed control methods more effective. Install rubber matting in problem areas. Rubber matting is a practical solution for areas prone to persistent weeds. Lay the matting over gravel paths, garden walkways, or driveways to block sunlight and prevent weed seeds from sprouting. Choose a thick, durable material and ensure the edges are securely fastened to avoid shifting. For added stability, cover the matting with decorative stones or mulch. This approach combines weed prevention with improved aesthetics, making it a win-win for high-traffic areas. Minimize soil disruption. Frequent digging or tilling can inadvertently encourage weed growth by exposing dormant seeds to sunlight. Instead, disturb the soil only when necessary and apply mulch to suppress emerging weeds. For planting, use no-till methods or make precise cuts for seeds and transplants. Adding a thick layer of organic mulch can further prevent weeds while nourishing your plants. A little care during soil preparation goes a long way in maintaining a weed-free garden. Use a wire brush or tool. Target stubborn weeds in cracks and hard-to-reach spots with a wire brush or specialized weeding tool. Scrape vigorously along joints in sidewalks, driveways, and patios to uproot weeds and loosen soil. Focus on areas where roots are firmly embedded to ensure thorough removal. Afterward, Sweep away debris to prevent regrowth. Repeat this process periodically for best results, especially after rainfall when soil is softer and easier to work with. Sprinkle lime. Lime can alter soil pH to make conditions less favorable for weed growth. Spread a thin layer of agricultural lime over areas where weeds are prevalent, being careful to avoid sensitive plants. Use a spreader or sprinkle by hand for even coverage, then water lightly to activate its effects. Over time, the lime neutralizes acidic soil, promoting healthier grass and plant growth while discouraging weeds. Reapply as needed to maintain pH balance and keep weeds at bay. Use geotextile under driveway edges. Geotextile fabric provides an effective barrier against weed growth along driveway edges. This fabric blocks sunlight while allowing water to pass through, preventing weeds from taking hold. Lay the geotextile under gravel or soil, ensuring it extends beyond the edges for comprehensive coverage. Secure it with landscaping staples to keep it in place. Over time, this method significantly reduces the need for manual weeding. Periodically check for any damage or shifting to maintain its efficiency. Install paving sealants. Sealants do more than protect paving. They also inhibit weed growth in cracks and joints. Grandpa always said, a little effort now saves a lot later, and applying a high-quality paving sealant is a perfect example. It creates a waterproof layer that discourages weed roots from penetrating the surface. Be sure to clean the area thoroughly before sealing, removing any debris or existing weeds. Allow the sealant to dry fully for maximum protection. Reapplying every few years ensures long-term effectiveness and keeps your driveway or patio looking pristine, just like Grandpa would have done. Mulching. Mulch is a natural weed deterrent and soil conditioner. Spread a thick layer of organic mulch, like wood chips or straw, around plants and garden beds to block sunlight from reaching weed seeds. This smothers weed growth while retaining soil moisture and regulating temperature. Keep mulch at least an inch away from plant stems to prevent rot. Refresh the layer periodically as it breaks down. A well-mulched garden not only reduces weeds, but also enriches the soil over time. Drill tool weeding brush. A drill tool weeding brush is a powerful option for removing weeds from hard surfaces. Attach the wire brush to a power drill and use it to scrub away weeds embedded in concrete, brick, or stone. This method removes both the visible plant and the root, preventing regrowth. For safety, wear gloves and goggles to protect against debris. Regular use of this tool can save time and effort, especially in areas prone to stubborn weeds. Corn gluten meal. Corn gluten meal is a natural pre-emergent herbicide that prevents weed seeds from germinating. Spread the meal evenly over soil in the early spring before weeds start sprouting. Water the area lightly to help it settle into the soil, but avoid overwatering, which could promote weed growth. As an added benefit, corn gluten meal also acts as a fertilizer, enriching the soil with nitrogen. Use this hack to tackle weeds while nourishing your lawn and garden. Borax. Borax is a natural mineral that effectively controls weeds by dehydrating them. Sprinkle a small amount of borax directly onto the leaves of unwanted plants, avoiding nearby grass or desired vegetation. The chemical disrupts the plant's cell structure, causing it to dry out and die. Mix 1 cup of borax with 2 gallons of water for large areas, applying it with a spray bottle. Reapply only if necessary to prevent overuse, which could harm your soil. Baking soda and vinegar mix. Combining baking soda and vinegar creates a powerful weed-killing reaction. The fizzing action breaks down cell walls in weeds, leading to their demise. First, sprinkle baking soda over the affected area. Then pour vinegar slowly onto the weeds, allowing the bubbling reaction to occur. Avoid spilling onto nearby plants to protect desirable vegetation. Repeat this process as needed, especially for persistent weeds. This mix works well for patio cracks and other confined spaces. Essential oils like clove or cinnamon oil. Essential oils like clove or cinnamon are natural herbicides that target weed leaves. Mix a few drops of your chosen oil with water and a teaspoon of liquid dish soap to create a spray. Coat the leaves of weeds generously, focusing on the visible foliage. These oils work by burning the plant tissue, effectively killing the weed. Apply on sunny days for faster results, as the heat amplifies the oil's effect. Use gloves to avoid skin irritation. Solarization using clear plastic. Using solarization is an eco-friendly way to eliminate weeds and their seeds. Cover the weedy area with clear plastic sheeting, securing the edges with rocks or soil to trap heat and moisture. Over weeks, the intense heat from the sun kills weeds, seeds, and even harmful soil pathogens. Leave the plastic in place for at least 4 to 6 weeks for maximum effect. This method works best during hot summer months for high heat buildup. Hot steam cleaner. A hot steam cleaner can eradicate weeds quickly and efficiently. Direct the steam nozzle at the base of the weeds, holding it for several seconds to ensure the heat penetrates the root system. The extreme temperature destroys the plant cells, killing the weed. Repeat this process for stubborn patches, focusing on areas like driveway cracks or pathways. For added convenience, use this method after rainfall when the soil is softer, improving steam penetration. Bleach solution. A diluted bleach solution effectively kills weeds by breaking down their cellular structure. Mix 1 part bleach with 3 parts water in a spray bottle. Directly spray the solution onto the weeds, focusing on the leaves and stems. Avoid letting the solution reach your soil or nearby plants, as it can be harmful to surrounding vegetation. After 24 hours, remove the dead weeds and rinse the area thoroughly. Apply sparingly to prevent long-term soil damage. Rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol dehydrates weeds by removing moisture from their cells. Combine 1 tablespoon of rubbing alcohol with 1 quart of water in a spray bottle. Shake well and spray directly onto the weeds, saturating the leaves. This method works best during warm weather as the heat accelerates the drying process. Reapply every few days if needed, particularly for stubborn weeds. Target cracks and crevices where weeds thrive for the most effective results. Gravel overdrive. Using gravel over driveways or pathways creates a weed-resistant surface. Spread a 2 to 3 inch layer of gravel evenly across the area to block sunlight and prevent weed growth. The weight and density of gravel hinder weeds from pushing through the surface. If weeds do sprout, use a rake to disrupt their roots. Choose landscaping fabric beneath the gravel for added protection. Regular maintenance will keep your driveway looking clean and weed-free. Avoid watering driveway areas. Overwatering near driveways encourages weed growth. Limit watering to the necessary areas by using drip irrigation or carefully positioning sprinklers. Ensure that water does not pool in cracks or along the edges, as moist soil promotes weed seeds to germinate. Adjust your watering schedule to accommodate only plants that need hydration. Regularly check for runoff or leaks to prevent inadvertent watering of driveways. A dry driveway is far less appealing to weeds. Weed whacker for driveways. Weed whackers are an efficient tool for clearing weeds along driveways. Select a trimmer with a sturdy line or blade for tough weeds. Hold the weed whacker at an angle and trim weeds as close to the ground as possible. For gravel driveways, use caution to avoid scattering stones. Clear debris after trimming to prevent regrowth. Regularly maintain your trimmer for optimal performance, ensuring weeds don't get a chance to reclaim their space. Pull weeds by hand. Sometimes the old-fashioned way is best, and Grandpa knows this too well. Pulling weeds by hand ensures complete root removal, reducing regrowth chances. Loosen the soil around the weeds with a trowel or small shovel. Grip the base of the weed firmly and gently pull upward to extract the root system entirely. Wet soil makes the process easier, so try after a rain or watering. Consistent manual weeding prevents seed spread and keeps your garden or driveway tidy. Lemon juice. Lemon juice serves as a natural weed killer by acidifying and dehydrating plants. Use fresh lemon juice or bottled concentrate, applying it directly to the weed's leaves. For stubborn weeds, mix lemon juice with a tablespoon of vinegar to boost its potency. Apply on sunny days as the heat enhances the juice's effects. Be cautious to avoid contact with desirable plants as the acidity affects all vegetation. Repeat applications may be necessary for deep-rooted weeds. Power scrubber. A power scrubber makes quick work of weeds lodged in driveway cracks or patio joints. The rotating bristles uproot weeds and scrub away dirt that allows seeds to germinate. Hold the scrubber over the affected area and move it back and forth, applying firm pressure. Finish by rinsing the area with a hose to clear out debris. For persistent weeds, pre-treat the area with a natural weed killer before scrubbing. This method also improves overall surface appearance. Concrete crack filler. Filling cracks in concrete is a proactive way to stop weeds from growing. Use a crack filler designed for driveways and sidewalks, applying it directly into the cracks using a caulking gun. Smooth the filler with a trowel or putty knife to seal the space completely. The barrier prevents soil, moisture, and seeds from settling in. Let the filler cure according to the Sunub manufacturer's instructions. Regular maintenance keeps your driveway weed-free and extends its lifespan. Herbicide method using organic herbicides. Organic herbicides offer a safer alternative to chemical weed killers by targeting plants without harming the environment. Look for organic herbicides containing ingredients like vinegar or fatty acids. Apply the product generously to the leaves and stems of weeds during dry weather. Ensure thorough coverage for maximum effectiveness, especially on broadleaf weeds. The compounds in these solutions dry out plant cells, causing them to wither. Avoid spraying desirable plants and reapply as needed for persistent growth. Salt. Salt disrupts plant cells by drawing out moisture, effectively killing weeds. Mix a solution of 3 parts water to 1 part salt and pour it directly on the weeds. Concentrate on areas like driveways and sidewalks where other plants won't be affected. Be cautious, as salt can sterilize the soil, preventing any growth in treated areas. Follow up with regular rinsing to minimize salt accumulation in unintended spots. Use this method sparingly for targeted weed control. Coffee grounds. Recycling coffee grounds into your garden helps suppress weed growth while enriching the soil. Spread a thin layer of used coffee grounds over the soil around your plants. The grounds create a barrier that discourages weeds from sprouting by blocking sunlight and nutrients. Additionally, their slightly acidic nature deters certain weed species. Mix the grounds into the soil occasionally to prevent compaction. Regular application can keep your garden weed-free while promoting healthy plant growth. Pine needles mulch. Pine needles create a natural mulch that suppresses weeds and retains soil moisture. Spread an even layer of pine needles about 2 to 3 inches thick around the base of your plants or in weed-prone areas. Their acidic properties are particularly effective for controlling weeds in gardens with acid-loving plants like azaleas or blueberries. Over time, the needles decompose, enriching the soil. For the best results, refresh the mulch layer periodically as the needles break down. Vinegar and citrus oil. Combining vinegar and citrus oil produces a potent natural weed killer that breaks down plant cell walls. Mix 1 gallon of white vinegar with 2 tablespoons of citrus oil in a spray bottle. Shake well and spray directly onto weeds on a sunny day. Focus on the leaves, ensuring even coverage for optimal results. The acidity of vinegar combined with the oil's natural desiccant properties eliminates weeds efficiently. Repeat weekly for tough or recurring weed growth. Clove oil spray. Clove oil, a natural herbicide, disrupts plant cell membranes, causing weeds to dry out and die. Mix 1 tablespoon of clove oil with 1 gallon of water and a teaspoon of liquid soap in a spray bottle. Shake well and apply generously to weeds during sunny weather for maximum effect. Focus the spray on leaves and stems for precise targeting. Reapply every few days for stubborn weeds. Store the mixture for later use, ensuring regular maintenance. Sugar treatment. Sugar disrupts weeds by depleting nitrogen levels in the soil, which inhibits their growth. Spread a thin layer of sugar directly on weed-infested areas and water lightly to help it soak into the soil. This process also encourages beneficial microbes to thrive, enriching the soil for desired plants. Avoid using too much sugar as it could attract ants. Monitor the treated areas regularly and reapply as necessary to maintain effective weed control. Ground covers like clover or thyme. Ground covers such as clover or thyme provide a living barrier against weeds by outcompeting them for sunlight and nutrients. Plant these low-growing species densely in garden beds or around pathways. Their robust root systems crowd out weeds while improving soil health. Choose varieties suited to your climate for optimal results. Regular trimming keeps the ground covers lush and neat, doubling as a natural mulch to suppress new weed growth over time. Natural starch water. Did you know that the starch water left over from cooking pasta or potatoes can weaken and kill weeds? Pour the hot, starchy water directly onto weed-infested areas, ensuring it reaches the roots. The heat scorches the plants, while the starch clogs their systems, cutting off nutrients. Avoid spilling onto desirable plants, as this method is non-selective. Apply weekly for persistent weeds. Charcoal dust. Charcoal dust can prevent weeds by altering the soil's pH balance, making it less hospitable for unwanted plants. Spread a thin layer of fine charcoal dust over areas prone to weed growth, ensuring even coverage. Water lightly to help it settle into the soil and activate its effects. This method works well in gardens and pathways, suppressing weeds while improving soil aeration. Repeat the application monthly for consistent results. Avoid using it near acid-loving plants to prevent harm. Natural mulches. Natural mulches, such as wood chips or straw, block sunlight from reaching weed seeds, halting their growth. Apply a 2 to 3 inch layer around your plants and in garden beds, ensuring an even distribution. Mulches also retain soil moisture and regulate temperature, promoting healthy plant growth. Replenish the layer as it decomposes to maintain effectiveness. This simple method not only prevents weeds, but also enhances soil fertility over time, making it a dual-purpose solution. Boiling water. A classic, simple but effective by Grandpa. Using boiling water kills weeds instantly by cooking their cells. Heat water to a rolling boil and carefully pour it directly onto the weeds, targeting the roots. Focus on areas like cracks in concrete or driveway edges where weeds thrive. The high temperature destroys plant tissues, preventing regrowth. Repeat the process for stubborn weeds that may resurface. Always take care to avoid splashing surrounding plants, as the hot water can damage them too. Hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide can kill weeds by oxidizing their cells and drying them out. Mix a solution of 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 10 parts water in a spray bottle. Apply directly to the weeds, saturating their leaves and stems thoroughly. For best results, use this method on a sunny day when the heat accelerates the drying process. Avoid overspray on desirable plants. Reapply weekly to control regrowth and keep your garden weed-free effortlessly. Weed burner. A weed burner uses intense heat to destroy weeds at their core, targeting the root system. Carefully direct the flame at the base of the weed, holding it for a few seconds until it wilts. This method works best for driveways, pathways, or other non-flammable areas. Always follow safety precautions, including keeping a water source nearby. A weed burner is a quick and effective way to handle large infestations, especially in gravel or concrete spaces. For more contents like this, click here to subscribe.